Hi everyone, today with me Steve McDonald from Lead Closer. Now Steve, a little bit about Steve before we leap into what Lead Closer is. And by the way, we're going to be running a webinar today to help you generate more leads from Facebook. So I'm sure you want to hang around and learn how to generate those leads and engagement and super fans that you've been missing for decades, frankly. So Steve is the CEO and founder of Lead Closer. It's a Facebook growth suite designed for digital agencies and Facebook marketers. He's almost 30 years of branding, including being the CMO of a Hollywood startup. He was the founder of Social Media University, where they train people how to use social media. He's Director of Client Services, top 10 digital marketing agency, and Director of Strategic Planning for Mazda Motors, and was trained in branding by not less than the CMO of McDonald's. So when Steve was doing his Social Media University, he discovered that he had all these problems posed, and that reason led him to start Lead Closer, which helped him to create this platform that we're going to dive into today and show you some ins and outs of how to generate leads from Facebook that you can very easily do via Lead Closer. So thanks, Steve, and looking forward to sharing your insights with everyone on this webinar. So just tell us a little bit about Lead Closer before we sort of get into some practical ideas how to generate leads on Facebook.
Great. Yeah, you touched on it. Right? So I had a social media marketing university for about 10 years, and we trained over 10,000 entrepreneurs and on how to use social media and primarily Facebook to grow your business. And during that time, I constantly had people coming to me and saying, this is great, but I can't keep up with all the engagement. I'm overwhelmed. I know I'm missing leads. I know I'm missing sales opportunities. And so how do I solve that? Well, solving that wasn't just creating a better management tool, which we've done, but giving you the way to see priorities, to see hidden leads that you've never seen before. Because on Facebook, all we can see is somebody's name. So that's all we know about them. And there's no highly successful sales process, right? That would ever say, I'm gonna treat every lead in my business exactly the same because I don't know any difference. So we've set out to solve some of these problems, and in doing so, give you opportunities that you've never had with your Facebook campaigns before.
Yeah, it's interesting that as we've been talking, that your platform allows you to identify super fans that are so engaged and track them and rank them so that you can really identify the leads worth chasing.
Absolutely. And I'm going to show that in spades here on the webinar. Might be just a good idea just to get in and show people how they can see more leads, get more engagements, get more conversions, reduce costs on their Facebook ads. There's quite a bit of benefits coming in the webinar here.
All right, cool. Over to you, Steve.
All right, let me bring it up. I should share first. All right, so one of the things that we want to make sure that we kind of set from the very beginning here is that we all want to get a greater return on our Facebook campaigns. So many of us rely on Facebook marketing for their own business. I myself am the same way. I'm running Facebook campaigns all the time. So I know how frustrating it can be, right? We love Facebook, we hate Facebook. There's so many things that changes, ads get rejected, all of that. But there's so much good and positive that actually has been left under the hood that we actually can't see, we can't tap into. So we're going to talk about how do you get a 12-to-1 return on your Facebook campaigns, at the same time lower the ad cost by 21%. So it all comes down to hidden leads and hidden lead opportunities. And if we could uncover another 20 to 30% of engagements that you couldn't even see before, how much would that impact your bottom line? Pretty significantly. What if we could give you those priorities that we've been talking about so that you knew who were your most important, most engaged fans, so that you knew who to spend the most time with, and instead of spending the same amount of time with everyone because you don't know any of the difference. And at the same time, we can use those rankings to deliver notifications automatically to you so that when those super fans, like you were talking about, when they're engaging with you and you're not even inside of Lead Closer or any other tool, that you're getting those notifications. and you're understanding that there's an opportunity there. So we want you to have more engagement. We want you to have fewer misleads. We want you to have less cost for your Facebook ads and more leads, more sales. So the bottom line of all of this is that you're going to be able to manage 10 times as much Facebook engagement versus any other tool that's out there. And you can be the judge, right? Because we're going to take you through all of it, and it's very easy to do. Anyone can do this. It's very intuitive. It doesn't take any kind of a, big data science knowledge or anything like that. Anybody, all of us, real people, real guys can do it. Now, if you can manage 10 times all those engagements in one place in half the time, think of how much more that you're going to actually get done. So this is the way that most of us feel. We've got these leads coming in from Facebook, and they're heading straight over into the great sales abyss, as I call it. And if you feel that way, you're not alone, because on average, across every industry, conversion rates are just abysmal. It's hard. This is tough stuff to do. And at the same time, our Facebook ad costs, they're doing nothing but going up and up. There's no industry where any costs are just always continually going down. And Facebook's there's no difference there, right? And they have a limited inventory. All the experts have been predicting this for a long time. Nothing's going to happen but increase costs of your Facebook ad campaigns. So how do we reverse that? And then at the same time, like I was talking about in my university, the sea of engagements that we get on Facebook, it's frustrating. It's overwhelming. We don't know what to do. If we can't manage it, we can't see our priorities, and we can't make good decisions about how we're going to move our business forward. We're spending a lot of time and a lot of money creating these campaigns, creating the conversion funnels, all the websites, the products, the services, everything. And we can't even see the big lead engine, all that's happening. That's kind of crazy. So you're not alone again. The professionals, the digital ad agencies, 9 out of 10 of them, they don't even manage the Facebook campaigns that they create because it's just too hard to get a return on investment. It takes too much manpower to do that. So they turn it over to their clients. And you might be an ad agency that's on, a digital ad agency that's on watching the webinar right now. I've been an agency for years. I get it. It's just really hard to do. So how do we get this 12-to-1 return on Facebook ads and reduce our cost by 21% at the same time? So it all starts with what I love. This is a quote from Warren Buffett. It's not necessary to do extraordinary things to get extraordinary results. So, okay, well, what are these non-extraordinary things, right, that we can do to get these extraordinary results? Well, it does all start with the #1 highly successful sales strategy of all time. And this is true in any industry, anywhere in the world. The more engaged a lead is, the higher quality a sales prospect they are. It makes good sense. It's a fact, right? Because past behaviors, they predict future actions. And past behaviors of people engaging around your business, your messages, your offers, that's predicting that they're the best sales opportunities. Now, if you think about this, though, the more engaged the lead is, the better the sales prospect they become. Well, we've never had that as social media marketers. We have no idea who our most engaged leads are. And Facebook is a perfect example. Think about it. When you're engaging on Facebook or inside of any tool, all you know is their name. That's all you know. They could be a customer versus a lead. They could be somebody that's brand new to your page. They could be somebody that's engaging for the 44th time. You have no idea. So when we do try to get in through all those engagements and reply to comments, and it's really hard to do, we're just kind of getting through them. The goal is more to get through them than to make the most out of them, because we're just treating everybody the same. So that changes as of today. Because in Lead Closer, here's what we're doing. For every individual fan or lead on your page, we're tracking over time all of their engagements. And we're aggregating that all automatically into a profile for you. Now, this is the footprints of people that are lurking in the background and checking you out. We all know that happens on social media, right? And when that happens, those footprints are things like Facebook reactions and comments and replies and chatbot engagements and inbox conversations, right? All of that is really important engagement data. And we're compiling it all together. And then we're giving everyone a lead ranking. And we call it a SMART score. And that SMART score is based on how much engagement they have with you. And we keep track of it all, across time. So it's important lead closing context. It's the most important number one thing that when you see a name of somebody engaging with you on Facebook, you're inside of Lead Closer, right away, you're going to see their SMART score, their lead ranking. So you can see, oh, they got really, really big score or really, small score. Maybe a small score is not bad. That just means that there's somebody that's new to your page that just started engaging with you. So here's an example. This is one of the tools inside of Lead Closer, and we call it Live Tracker. Think about your email inbox and where the most recent emails at the top. Well, this is an inbox of all the engagements on your Facebook page or pages, how many you have attached to your Lead Closer account. And the most recent's at the top. And what we're looking at here is different reactions, there's comments, there's messages that are coming in, another comment down below. So right away, it's a mix of all these different engagements. And by the way, no tool at all tracks reactions. And the only reason why is because you can't reply to a reaction. At least that's the way the industry looks at it. So no tool tracks it because if you can't reply to it, why would they report it? Well, we've already talked about how it's important to see how engaged you are because those footprints of people lurking, 10 times as many reactions happen as any other engagement. So if you're not tracking that, you're not getting the full picture of their engagement and their importance to you and your business. But also, I'm going to debunk that myth that you can't reply to reactions. I'm going to show you how you can do that for your most important, your super fans, in a minute here. But there's a lot of other things that are happening around the profile image on the left side of the screen there. So right away, when we talked about the lead rankings, the SMART scores, those are the SE numbers. So SE 32 at the top, 35, 9. Now 9 is low. You see the dot to the right of that? Well, those are contact status. And automatically when somebody's brand new to your page, they've never engaged with you before, your goal, you always got to be prospecting, you've got to be reaching new people. So this is a new person. That's a blue dot. As soon as they engage a second time, then we'll automatically turn that dot to green. And then as you're carrying on conversations with them, Lead Closer knows about the conversations, but we don't know about the quality of the conversations. So you can actually click on any of those dots and you can increase them to orange warm or red hot. So this is all part of the context that you have at a glance as you're engaging. And when you increase them, you increase their SMART scores because you just told Lead Closer that they're more important. Now, there's these dots that not everybody has on the lower left side of the profile image. It's a double chat icon. What that means is that you have direct one-on-one communication with them, right? So the ways that we can communicate on Facebook are comments and replies, chatbots, inbox conversations, right? That's kind of the way that we do it. So if you click on that dot, it'll bring up all the ways that you have one-on-one communication with that particular lead. So it will show if they commented, it'll show the last time that they commented, and you can click it open the reply, or open that post or that ad where they made that comment and reply to them. Or if you've got an inbox conversation already started, click on that, open up the inbox right inside of Lead Closer, reply and carry on. So it's really good to know all of this context. Now that we've kind of set the stage of kind of the secret sauce that's going to enable, I'm going to go through 10 different hidden lead opportunities in the next like half hour here. And the very first one's going to blow you away, okay? So now that we know a little bit more about everybody that we're seeing here just at a glance, you can also click on anyone's name and bring up that profile. So with Patty Simon, she's got a pretty good SE score, 148. So I'm going to click on her name. And this is her profile. On the right side is all of her engagements. You can just scroll up and down, open, reply. But at the very top where the red arrow is, it says, Patty Simon interacted with your business 67 times. she's a super fan. Anybody that's engaged with you 67 times is somebody that's important to your business because they're highly engaged with what you're doing, what you're talking about. Now, if we move over to the left side, I'm going to blow that up a little bit here. The two red dots show the 6 hours is the last time that Patty engaged with your page. The none is the last time that your page engaged with Patty. So this is an example of a hidden lead opportunity because no other tool tracks all of Patty's engagements. And I'm sure probably 8 out of 10 were reactions, but we have one-on-one communication there and she's constantly following us. Why haven't we interacted with her? This is a massive lead opportunity that's missed, a sales opportunity that's missed because it's flying below the radar. This is just one really good example of these hidden lead opportunities. If we can uncover another 30% of engagements and opportunities that you never saw before, this is a missed lead. This is a missed sale, just waiting for you. Okay, now there are other things that when we're inside of the profile. When you do actually engage with somebody, on the right side where it says none, scheduled activity, you can click that and you can schedule a time, write a description of what just went on and why you're going to follow up. Because when you do follow up, Forbes magazine also said that the #1 issue with conversion, remember they were talking about how conversion is abysmal in all industries. Well, the #1 reason why there's poor conversion performance is because there's no follow-up. And actually, there was a study that was done by Harvard Business Review that said 71% of leads are never, ever followed up. So the goal here is we want you following up. We want you having more personal conversations, right? The conversation is the lead. And that's the nurturing, that's the closing activity. So schedule an activity. And then the morning that it's scheduled between 4 and 5 a.m. in your time zone, you'll get an email from us. And it'll say, here's your scheduled follow-ups for today. You can also, on the left side, there's a red arrow that points to tags. Actually, tags, stages, and products are all different classes of tags, where you can just literally assign a tag, like maybe say somebody's a VIP, or somebody just joined my Facebook group, right? Or stages are stages of your sales process, your sales pipeline. And you can customize all of these, but let's say that you were a lawyer, right? And you were running Facebook ads. Well, nobody's become a client of yours until they go through a consultation with you. So that would be an example of a sales pipeline stage. You could assign them when they sign up for a consultation, when they complete the consultation, and you can even bring up a list of people that in the last 30 days signed up for a consultation, but didn't get through the consultation themselves. It's just a way to look at your leads and make sure that you're organized in the way that makes sense for you and your business. And then you could write notes, right? You're always going to learn things about the conversations, things you don't want to forget. Okay, let's go to the second hidden lead opportunity. This is where we're going to reduce ad cost 21% overnight. Now that we know lead rankings, we know who your most important, most engaged fans are. And based on that, you know what we can do? We can download a CSV file, a spreadsheet of all of your top fans. And we can then do it in a way that you just have to upload it into the Facebook custom audience creation process and create a custom audience of your most engaged, most important super fans. And then you can take that custom audience and say, Facebook, find a bunch of other people that look like these people, a lookalike audience. And so that's how we got this 21% ad cost reduction. So this is an online fitness company and a national online fitness company in the US. And the bottom campaign was a campaign that they had been running for like 6 months. And we duplicated that campaign. And the only thing we did is we changed the audience. The original audience was an interest-based audience you could pick on Facebook. And then we switched that audience out for the superfan lookalike audience. And overnight, boom, you can see on the right, ad costs came down 21%. Now, what's cool about this, it's very easy. You just click a button inside of Lead Closer and a list of your super fans come up. And there's a little export custom audience button right at the top. You click on that. And part of what we have right in the middle, you see kind of grayed out page UID, we have the user identification for everybody that engages with your page. So we can tell Facebook exactly who they are. So we just downloaded 2,000 of the top super fans and created a custom audience and a lookalike audience. That's all we had to do. Now, when you reduce costs, you could pocket it, right? You could say, hey, I'm just going to save this money. Or you can say, I had allocated that budget to spend. If I can reduce the cost, guess what? I'm just going to reinvest those dollars back into the campaign because it's going to put more leads into my funnel and more sales at the bottom. So remember, we've been talking about how do we get more leads? Well, this is one way. How do we get more leads? Well, we uncover leads that you have in those engagements that you could never even see because you didn't have a view that allowed you to understand who was important and who wasn't. All right, so let's go to the third hidden lead opportunity. You've probably heard of late that there is issues going on with Facebook custom and retargeting audiences. They're shrinking. The reason why they're shrinking is because companies like Apple are revamping their data privacy policies. And basically what's happening is that none of us by default are just sharing our data. And that third-party data that we have to now actually check a box to say, yes, share my data, which nobody's going to say share my data. So a bunch of this third-party data is going away that Facebook passes on to us to create these custom and retargeting audiences. So the thing is, though, just like that super fan custom audience and then the lookalike audience, that's just one example of a custom audience you can create. There's hundreds and hundreds of custom audiences that are based on actual engagements, fan behaviors with your page and your message and your ads. So let me give you an example here. This is that online fitness company, and they're an online fitness company for diabetics. And they ran an ad for a webinar, Conquering Diabetes. Makes good sense, right? Well, in 3 days that they ran that ad, they got 1,781 reactions on the ad. And when they did that, they wanted to create a custom audience out of the people that reacted there because they could then create a custom audience that you would retarget to because these people raised their hand by stopping, reading, and liking that webinar. Now, they didn't all sign up for the webinar or sign up for the service, but they're certainly a good retargeting audience. So inside of Lead Closer is a tool called Smart Search. And just think about it like a Google search engine of your whole lead database. And so we're going to do a search that's going to show us leads that interacted with a certain Facebook ad, that webinar ad. So you pick leads, and then you pick Facebook ads, and now you come to a screen like this. I picked reactions, the lower left. On the right there, I've circled the webinar. You select that ad and search. It's just that easy. And just like that superfan list, now this is a list of all the people that reacted to that webinar ad in priority order, because all lists are shown by the smart scores at the top. So Kay Kuiper Young on the left top is the #1 engaged fan. Now, she only has a smart score of 37, but because most of those people, that was a prospecting campaign, they were new people. Now we're retargeting a bunch of new people that were highly engaged with our webinar for our business. Pretty important stuff. I can also click over anybody that has the one-on-one communication dot. I can click over and say, hey, I saw that you liked our webinar ad. Here's what I'd like to tell you, right? And you start the conversation directly with them. All right, the fourth hidden lead opportunity. So this is all about those lead rankings and identifying all new conversations that you could never see before, okay? So just like Patty, remember that? Well, this is called superfan marketing. What we want to do is never miss a conversation opportunity with your most important, your most engaged. That's the whole goal. Get highly engaged, appropriate people that you've targeted that you could close, you can have conversations with and close. We wish that we could do it all automatically, right? It would be great, right? We just press buttons, we put up ad campaigns, they go to the website, they convert. Even key e-commerce companies, it doesn't all work that way, right? People want to do business with other people. And if you're not following up, just like those studies from Harvard Business and what Forbes was saying, you're just missing massive opportunities. So here we go. This is what your customer journey looks like before Lead Closer. It's a bunch of gray faces right? When we're talking about all we know is somebody's name, that's all we know. Right? So when they're at the top of your funnel or in the middle of your funnel, yes, you can retarget people maybe that come down lower in the funnel because maybe they saw a video of yours on Facebook and you can retarget people that way and as a group. But we all know that one-to-one marketing is the most effective. That's personal marketing. That's the conversation. Right? So what happens after you use Lead Closer is your funnel looks like this, where you start to see these blue people that are starting to engage. And then as they engage more and more and they become super fans, you start to see these, they grow and they're orange. And you see them because every time you're inside of Lead Closer, you see all those lead rankings. So right away, you're like, oh, that's a really engaged person, right? I'm seeing that engagement for the first time in a whole new light. Think about not being able to see this and what that means for your business. Being able to see it and know with your limited time, or somebody, it could be an intern, right? It could be, you could put scripts together inside of Lead Closer and say, hey, for my ads or my most important, engagements, here's how I want you interacting with people. It doesn't have to be a highly skilled person. We just got to do this follow-up activity. And when you have these personal conversations, it creates this intimacy, right? People feel appreciated, they feel heard, they feel supported, they feel important. That makes a really big difference in closing leads. So let me tell you about, this is actually, out of all this is my favorite. And I'll tell you why. Because remember earlier where I said no other tool even tracks reactions, let alone their importance to understand the engagement history, but you can't reply to them, right? Let me show you how you can reply to your most important leads just off those reactions. So down below, this is an example of an ad, and it got 409 reactions and 46 comments. So remember when I said there's like usually around 10 times as many reactions? Here's a good example. Well, we would try to reply to those comments, right? That would be our goal. But when we reply, and we kind of reply the same to everybody because they're just all names. Well, what if of those 409 reactions over there, what if even 10% or 20%, like 40 or 80 of them are your super fans? People have been highly engaged. Well, that's great. What if you could reply to those people? Well, here's how you do it. There's another tool inside of Lead Closer. There's a whole suite of tools here. They're just super easy to use. This is like Live Tracker that I showed you right at the beginning, that kind of fire hose of engagement that was coming in real time. Well, now you can take it and divide it up into different columns of kinds of activity that you want to see. This gets to the managing 10 times as many engagements as you could in any other tool. But one of the columns that you can create is a column you say, okay, I only want to see super fans. I only want to see super fans that are reacting. This is all real time. And I want to see super fans that are reacting that I know I have one-on-one communication with, that dot in the lower left. If I've got one-on-one communication, then the best time to follow up with any lead, especially your important leads, is now. Time is not good to lead generation. The longer it goes, the less effective you're going to be to closing that lead. So a real-time column that allows you just to click on that little one-on-one communication dot and open up whatever the communication path and avenue is. Perfect, right? You're now replying to your most important fans, your super fans, based on their reactions. This opens up an entire new class of lead follow-up that we've never had before. It's pretty cool. And it's all based on all new Facebook messaging steps that you can't find in any other tool as well. So the 6th of the 10 hidden lead opportunities is literally everything that you can do inside of Live Tracker columns. I'm going to run through some example columns that I would want you to put into place that allows you to manage the 10 times more engagements versus any other tool, because there's like over 1,000 different ways that you can filter all of your engagements to see just the important ones. So all comments from all pages. I have 3 different pages attached to my Lead Closer account. So I want to see all the comments from all my pages across all my posts and all my ads. Just show it to me, every one of them in real time. Or maybe I just want to take a look at all the comments on my ads across all those pages. Or maybe I have a current promotion that's going on in my business, like that webinar. Let's say you had 2 ads that were promoting your webinar. And you said, I don't want to miss a comment on that webinar. That webinar's happening in 3 days. I got a big Facebook campaign up and running. That's my #1 priority right now. I don't want to miss a comment on anything there. Show me comments just on those 2 ads. Or show me comments just from super fans. I certainly don't want to miss a comment from them, right? And then this little $ right here, this tells you that this is a customer or client. So I don't want to miss a comment from a customer or a client. We all know that, the best opportunity to grow revenue in a business is cross-selling, upselling existing customers. They're your fans. Now, we all have problems with negative comments coming onto our ads and to our posts. And so we created a column where you can just do a keyword search. Put in the word hate, an example, or an e-commerce company might put in broken or late, that you can put in as many keywords as you want to determine what kind of sentiment is happening in that comment so you can go hide it, right? We don't want negative comments on our ads. So this is an easy way to do that rather than just kind of keep going up and down and checking and see if another negative comment came or not. That's ridiculous. That's why they live on our ads. Who would ever design an ad that just say, if a negative comment comes on it, is a detractor, who cares? It's just my business, right? So we want to get rid of those negative comments. Now, what about those new leads? Anytime a new person is commenting, I want to know, and I want to welcome them to my page, especially if they're on my ads. That's my prospecting, right? So just show me a column of all new lead comments on my ads. And then, I have 3 pages attached to my account. Instead of going to 3 different tabs to look at my Facebook messages, I'm just going to look at them all in one column. Or, the superfan reactions that we were talking about. It's limitless, the kinds of things that you can do to create and manage columns the way that you want to. All right, 7th, missed comment tracker. Did you know that there's 3 billion comments that happen on Facebook pages every month? And missed comments are the #1 lost sales opportunity on Facebook. That's where people, especially around your ads, if they're commenting, there's a reason. They have an interest. They have a question, right? And when you answer them, guess what? Other people see that. And if you reply, you answer those comments, do it with another question back. Because the reason why is that when you ask a commenter on one of your ads, a question back and they reply, that's just telling the Facebook algorithm that this ad is more popular, which lowers the ad costs. There's a ton of reasons why you want to make sure you get through all the comments, right? So what we did is there is the 3 billion comments, the #1 missed sales opportunity. And we also know it takes a lot of marketing touches in order to qualify somebody as a good sales lead. Not get them as a sale, get them interested, get them to a curious, a considered lead, right? Where you're in a conversation with them. So how do we do and keep track of all of these comments that happen all over our pages, our posts, and our ads? So we just created one dashboard that shows all the posts in the upper left or all of the ads. And the column in the middle is the missed comments. These are just comments that are non-answered comments, not replied to by the admin or editor of the page. And you can click on any of these numbers and you'll bring up the ad or the post, and the engagement down below, you'll see open, closed, or manually closed. Open is an open comment. It's been missed. So you reply to it or you can hide it. And if you reply, it'll automatically turn to closed, red, which you see right down below. And then down at the bottom, if there's just a comment you don't want to reply to, you can manually close it. But anytime you reply or manually close or hide a comment, guess what? The numbers in that missed comment column go down. And your goal is to have nothing but zeros. We all know that comments can come in at any time. They can come in 3 days after the post goes up or the ad goes up. And every time you go in, you're looking through, clicking past most relevant and then load more. And you're just you're having to scan every single time. That's crazy. you should just be able to scan one column and see where there's a number that has a missed comment. And when you open it up, it only shows the missed comments to start. You could load all the comments, but it's just going to focus on the missed ones, right? So number 8, in terms of hidden lead opportunities, is all of this context. Why would you ever treat 2 leads the same? It makes no sense, right? So when you're inside of Live Tracker or Miscomment Tracker, right, or a Smart Search, wherever you're engaging, you're always going to see all of this information. And once you have this information, if you ever go back to Facebook, you kind of want to scream because you have no idea, once again, how important anybody is to your business. So inside of the main dashboard, right, Live Tracker columns, here's a list of super fans, here's that miscomment tracker again, opening the engagement everywhere. You've got all of the context that you can see right around the profile image. So why would you ever treat 2 leads the same? And I talked about this already, the Harvard Business Review, 71% of leads are never followed up with. So that's the 9th hidden lead opportunity. And it's one that we gladly just pass over because it's just too hard to identify the leads. And then it's too hard. We had people in the university that had notebooks and they had lists, or they tried to put together spreadsheets, right? Those are always doomed for failure because they don't remind you. You have to go in and you have to look through them, and you can't sort, a list. And, it's really tough to work on things on spreadsheets. So what we did is we created, but the bottom line here is that consistent and effective follow-up is one of the biggest culprits to poor conversion performance. We created what we call smart schedules. So anytime that you reply, you engage back with somebody, guess what you do? Well, you schedule another follow-up. That's what we showed earlier when we were in Patty Simon's profile. And I showed where you could actually click and schedule a follow-up. And then on the dashboard, you can just see how many follow-ups do I have today? How many do I have over the next 7 days? How many over the lifetime? I might have scheduled something 2 months out. And how many are past due that I missed? You're also going to get an email between 4 and 5 in the morning, the day that you have any follow-ups scheduled. So it automatically reminds you, even if you're not inside of Lead Closer. This is what that email looks like. You just click to view and you open up the profile. You go to the activity feed that's on the right side of the profile, open up and reply. It's really simple. Now here's the 10th of 10 hidden lead opportunities. It's about auto lead alerts. And everything you can do inside of Live Tracker columns to set up specific kinds of engagements that you want, that's available to also set up a lead alert for you. So you don't even have to be inside of Lead Closer, and you're getting these alerts from your super fans when they're engaging with you. I'd want to know when somebody important is engaging with my ad, for an example. So coming up, I want to talk about combating online leads growing old. I talked a little bit earlier about how time is not generous to leads, right? So here's these studies on business to consumer and business to business. Firms that tried to contact potential customers within an hour of receiving a query were nearly 7 times as likely to qualify the lead, which was defined as having a meaningful conversation. So I hope this has been really intuitive, right? I hope it hasn't been scary. It's easy to use. It was designed for anyone. It's not theory. It's just fact. Right? These are the kinds of things that other industries use because they know who their most engaged leads are. So it's about time that we caught up with the social media world of marketing. We've got to break through these barriers. We've got to get rid of this frustration. This is ridiculous that we create the engagement, but we can't even manage it. And it doesn't take a big, highly analytic software program where you need a data scientist to run it. All of this stuff happens automatically. Everything that you're seeing, all that context, all those lead engagements, all of that just happens. You just sign up. We bring in tens of thousands of engagements to start, and we create all those lead rankings for you. So you literally come in and you're seeing for the very first time your business in a whole new way. And you don't need a big professional team behind you. As much as I'd love to have all those people helping me out and that guy with a clipboard getting things organized, you don't need to. Right? You're already highly organized inside of Lead Closer. So anyone can be a lead managing sales closing superhero. All it takes is one missed comment or late reply to lose a sale. This is a lead closer user. He said, I closed a $400,000 home sale because of a comment I would have missed without lead closer. So you just have to ask yourself the question, are you missing leads on Facebook? If you're relying on Facebook or want to rely on Facebook to help generate leads for your business, then you want to get the most out of it. That just makes sense, right? We want you to expect a lot more out of your Facebook campaigns. We want you to reduce ad costs. We want you to increase return on ad spend. We don't want you to ever miss a comment. And we want you to have 1,000+ different ad cost reducing custom audiences available to you. So all of this that we've been talking about was put to use this last fall in a governor's campaign in the United States, where we increased donations by 65%. And we were only brought in 6 weeks in advance of the election. Oh my goodness, what we could have done if we had had more time. So we'll do a Q&A. Anybody that wants to, we'll always make sure that you get answers to your questions. But what we want to do is, I want to tell you, if you sign up today for a free trial, then I want to give you some bonuses. They're going to help you out even more. And so the first bonus, they're training courses. The #1 course, highly rated course in that university that trained over 10,000 entrepreneurs, that's all been updated for this year, is Branding Equals Your Social Media Success. I guarantee you the message is hugely important. And if you don't understand the unmet emotional needs of what you're doing to help solve those for people that they can't solve for themselves, then you're missing a huge opportunity. I'm going to say this is really, really valuable. $299 value. Hyper targeting for sales success. Why did these custom audiences reduce ad costs? Because a better audience, a more hyper targeted, focused audience always produces better results. So how do you hyper target? That course, $175 value. Getting way more out of your Facebook ads. How do you get more conversations out of your existing Facebook campaigns? And not just talking about messenger-based campaigns, right? So that's another course. How much to pay for new leads. And everybody that joins the free trial, we're going to automatically put you into our Facebook group. It's full of other e-commerce companies and entrepreneurs and digital agencies and consultants. So it's ongoing community and support and training that happen inside of the group. Plus, I'm going to make a personal commitment to you. I want to make sure you have individual attention. If you've got a question, I want to make sure that it gets answered. And I'm going to vow to you right now that we're going to do that. So you're never going to be left with, okay, I don't get it. You know, there's something, there's a bridge between this and this. I'm just not connecting. I really need to talk to somebody. We're going to help you out. That's huge. That $999 value, but that's really priceless, right? So if you put all of that together, it's $2,200 in bonuses. And there's 3 wildly successful plan choices for you. So if you've got one Facebook page and you're just starting out, $39.99 a month US dollars. The advanced plan for growing businesses, maybe you got more pages, that's $79.99 a month. And then the pro plan is for agencies and professional marketers. And on that, that's the plan where you get the ability to create those custom audiences and things like that. Plus Zapier, which allows you to just move data from one place to the next, right? So email addresses you get in your Facebook lead ads, send them over to your email marketing campaign. But what I'm going to do just for this webinar is I'm going to give to the standard and advanced plan the ability to create those custom audiences, which reduce your ad costs. You'll have that export custom audience button inside of your lead closer dashboard. Now, also, I don't want you pro guys to worry about it. I'm going to give you another sub account because you're probably a digital agency or a consultant, and those sub accounts are used for your clients. So you can just toggle in the same dashboard right back and forth between your clients' pages and data and another client's. So for today only, superfan audiences plus 21% Facebook ad cost reduction. Every plan gets $2,200 in bonuses all together. All you got to do when you sign up for the free trial, so you can test all of this for free, right, is message me at m.me/lead closer. That sends you right over to our Facebook inbox, and just put in their fast action bonus, right? Because everybody that signs up within 15 minutes after seeing the webinar, I'm going to give this fast action bonus to. All right, so to take advantage, you go to leadcloser.com/Jeff. And Jeff, that was a kind of a fire hose of information coming in the webinar here.
Yeah, I almost think a bit of overwhelm there, but that's actually fantastic. Look, our mission here is to bring the best tools to people to help grow their business. For whether you're doing a side hustle or you've got a main hustle where you've got an online business or an offline business to grow your leads. And when I saw Steve's tool, Lead Closer, I went, wow. So people take advantage of this, because this is something that could transform your business, save your money, grow your business. So thanks, Steve, very much. It's been awesome to have you here at jeffwillis.com and just be part of the team to help other people and help businesses. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and thanks for inviting me on. And if anybody has any questions, you can just send them right to me, give them to Jeff, go to m.me/lead closer. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Steve. That was awesome.
All right. Good.